Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Star Wars Collecting Contest Week. This is the second part of the contest. This time you'll have a new challenge, come up with their ideas, and whoever has the best one gets an extra chance to win, but whoever posts a video gets entered anyway into the final contest. And really enjoyed watching you guys. I was really glad so many people got a chance to post. I know it's been hard for some people lately. But I wanted to go through now and pick the winner, and I want to just talk about everybody's ideas. The first person to post was Jedi Boy 330, and he had a really great idea of Krell and the plant monster from the Umbara part of Clone Wars, and that would be a really amazing idea. I think that they could even, you know how when that thing would open up its mouth in the show, it would light up because it's got, like, you know, neon colors or whatever inside. They could do that with, like, either glow in the dark or maybe like a little LED light whenever it opens. And posable tentacles and stuff would be really cool. Then there was Chris, Halo Reviewer 117, talking about the Skywalker family from the expanded universe, and having a battle pack with everybody together, updated figures, would be really great. I know they did Mara Jade, I think was the 200th action figure they did in Power of the Force, and they really do need to upgrade the whole Skywalker family. And I'm really getting back into the expanded universe. I'm rereading some of the older stuff, and it's but that was a really great idea. You're really thinking outside the box. You know, you're not just sticking with like one little scene here or there or something. I really thought that was neat. Collector Star Wars had the idea for Battlefront, where you have Phase 1 clone troopers, the recruits. You know, they're just created the newer clones on Kamino, and fighting the veteran 501st Stormtroopers, being led by Boba Fett, which was a really amazing part of that game. And it was an interesting scenario. I really like the idea that the clones are revolting, that the Kamino cloners have, you know, made a batch of clones to fight the Empire, and that they have to fight each other, but they're not experienced, and so the 501st just obliterates them, and Boba Fett has to lead the way because he was raised on Kamino and he knows the ins and outs of the city. And it was a really great idea, especially if they had sort of a customized Boba Fett, maybe made him a little bit younger, where he's got maybe less battle damage on his armor, and done maybe a couple little extra things here or there to make him stand out. That way he would be the hook for the battle pack. Really brilliant idea. And we had Vader Fan 777 James, and he had the really great idea for the Separatists. We need an upgrade, especially with Phantom Menace and stuff, and they're going to be, you know, next year will be Attack of the Clones, and you know, to have the Separatists upgraded like Newt Gunray and all those would be really great, and putting in a new Wat Tambor would be really cool too. And Free Video 2000s, he's, you know, the new member of the team who showed up and is already really getting involved in this. He came up with a lot of really great ideas. His were multiple sets of battle packs for each season of Clone Wars, heroes and villains, and just, you know, and that's the problem with the, like, I see even at Target right now they have all the Clone Wars battle packs. They're scenes, but they're not selling, and they're all on sale now. And it's a shame because some of them are really good. I just picked up the one, it was Capture the Droids, where he has R2-D2 and C-3PO and Cad Bane, and it's a really good set. The problem is a lot of people don't want to, because if you already have Cad Bane, you don't want to buy a battle pack with Cad Bane. So what they need is specific sets that would really cap off each season, rather than have different scenes, because the Holocron heist has been sitting at Target forever, and so I thought his were a really good idea too. And Julius, a little bit life size, he had two ideas. One, his first idea has already been used, and that would have been fine if he'd said that and didn't know, but it was for the Dagobah scene where you have the ghost of Obi-Wan and Luke fighting the hologram Vader, or the Mirage Vader, and then Yoda and R2-D2. That would be really neat. They really need to do a little bit more on Dagobah. And but his real idea was for the saving Princess Leia from the detention center. So you get a really good Chewbacca figure, which they always really stink at. They always do such a bad job with Chewbacca. There's a battle pack out now with Chewbacca in it, and it's got swivel elbows. I mean, they don't put as much effort into Chewie as they should. And so the best one really was the early bird kit from 2005. Had a really good Chewbacca that I just figured out. But he said, you know, you have Luke and Han in Stormtrooper disguise, and it was just a really good idea, and they should do something like that. And he's right about the Saga Legends, or not Saga Legends, Legacy Collection. Luke and Han in Stormtrooper disguise were really good figures, but to have them together in a scene like this would be really neat. And I was kind of thinking, I really like when battle packs have scenery, like the battle for the Senate and stuff, where they have like the little Senate pod, or you know, they have little bits of scenery that you could put in a diorama. And if they, with this battle pack he was describing, maybe they could have like a little cardboard or plastic controlled panel where the guy was standing, you know, that Han shoots and blows up, or maybe those little cameras, little tiny plastic cameras that were all over the place. That would be pretty cool to put in your own dioramas. And then the last one I saw was from Wampa Slayer, and he said those creatures from Attack of the Clones that Anakin is riding on top of, and then he falls off, and those four-legged big creatures called a Sharak or something. And that was a really good idea too, because that's a creature they've never made anything from. So you guys all did a really good job, and I picked a winner, and I'm going to give you all my reasons why I like this winner and why I like this idea, and that would be Philip. His Addicted to Star Wars 23, his response that he put up on, I think that was Tuesday or Wednesday, is his idea was to take characters from the prequel movies and make them in the vintage style. And I know you're probably thinking that not a lot of people would like that. I'm only saying I like that because I collect vintage stuff. But I think what he did is he had a lot of really good reasons to back up his ideas. And especially the fact that I think that he described it so well that it really combines. It's possible when you're aiming for those original trilogy fans, vintage old-time fans like me, and then you also have your modern Clone Wars fans, that if you try to please both of them, you're not going to end up pleasing either. But he had some really good ideas, and here, let me explain. So he said Mace Windu, a vintage style Mace Windu. Maybe you could have him sort of in the style of, I'm trying to think of, in the vintage Luke in Jedi Knight outfit, where he's, doesn't have a lot of posability or anything, but it's still a really good classic figure. But if it were Mace Windu with brown robes and a purple lightsaber, there's not a single vintage fan who wouldn't want that just as like a novelty for your vintage collection. It would be like getting a chance to collect something like that again. And the same thing with the Anakin and the Obi-Wan, a younger Obi-Wan figure, maybe kind of get a little bit of nostalgia from the original Obi-Wan figure, and but make him so he has a telescoping lightsaber, and he has to fight Anakin with his telescoping lightsaber, and make him in the old style. And I think that old-time fans would really like that. And but now the problem is newer fans wouldn't like that. They would say, well, I'd rather have a realistic-looking, movie-accurate Mace Windu or something than to have the old style. But where he really got smart was with Jango Fett, and it's what really surprised me. I was imagining a Hasbro boardroom where they're pitching this idea, and they're thinking, well, vintage, it's not going to sell, let's move on. And then he says the Jango Fett part, where you take the rocket-firing Boba Fett that they already have the molds for, it's ready to go, they've recently produced all those rocket-firing vintage-style Boba Fetts, just take that same thing and paint it blue and silver. And there's not a vintage fan or a prequel fan who wouldn't love to have a figure like that. Because I'm sure there are people who customize their older Boba Fetts to look like Jango. So why not make one, give him a different style jetpack, maybe give him, upgrade his armor a little bit or something to make him different. But that would look really good on a display shelf of all your vintage figures, to stick a Jango Fett in there. And I bet that would just really, that's like a nostalgic punch in the gut for old guys like me. But also, younger people would like that too, to go with your rocket-firing Boba Fett. And the only thing that was a little bit weird about his response was Grievous would be really hard to do in a vintage style. You could make him skinny like the IG-88 figure. You make him tall. I can't think of a single vintage figure that was at all like him, and because he has 4 arms, that would be really hard to do too. And the more I thought about it, that maybe you could have just one swivel point for 2 arms coming off, and that would work, and give him maybe 4 lightsabers, but he'd have to be able to hold on to him really well, and so that would be the only figure that would be tricky. But the other 4 would be really easy to do for Hasbro, and I bet even if it was a 4-pack, kind of like they did that original style 4-pack back in the 90s, based on vintage figures, I bet it would sell really good. And I thought it was a really great idea. So Philip, you win this week, and he really presented it well, explained all of his things. So I don't want you guys to think that you know, that by coming up with your ideas that I didn't like your ideas. I really enjoyed listening to all of your rationalities behind it and everything. It was really, they were all really great. His response was the one that made me think that Hasbro would be most likely to do it, most likely to hit their target audience and make a profit, and he just explained it really well, and it's the one I was the most excited over. The one I just, you know, I was excited over everybody's. I really liked Jedi Boy 330's idea for Krell and that monster. I never thought they'd make a creature of that monster. So you guys all did a really good job. I just thought that his was the best this week. So he gets 2 entries into the hat. Everyone else gets 1 entry. So there's still a really good chance you can win. And this week, post another response on, and you probably saw this coming, is your favorite, or come up with an idea for a vehicle. And there's not nearly as many rules this time as last time. So you all could still win another chance, and then the week after that will be a really strange question. Everyone will have a chance to win, and then the week after that I'll draw the hat, draw the names, and mail out your action figures. So vehicles. Let's do this. The only rules are, it has to cost probably less than $120. I was really excited to hear that they're going to be doing the troop transport for the battle droids coming out this year with 20 battle droids. I don't know how they can afford that. It's probably, I think most of them don't have really good articulation, like only 1 or 2 of them have good articulation. The rest are just like, you know, maybe their legs move or something, that's it. But still, it's a really good idea to come out with that thing. So you can't pick that one, but that's a really good idea to give you the baseline of just something that just shocks the fans as being really awesome and something you didn't expect. It can't be anything that's come out recently, and it's okay if you accidentally say something, but it would be something like this. You can't pick an AT-AT Walker. We've already got the best one. You can't pick the Millennium Falcon, but they already had a really good one of those a couple of years ago. You can't have the Slave One because they've got the really big Clone Wars Slave One now. And so anything that's been recently in the stores you can't pick. Other than that, there aren't any restrictions. So you can pick anything from any of the movies, cartoon series, expanded universe, anything you want. And just as a little twist, maybe one of you guys will throw in something really creative. You can make your own vehicle, your own expanded universe vehicle that doesn't exist in the Star Wars universe. So maybe you want to mix some stuff up, maybe kind of like a hybrid between you know, prequel vehicles and modern vehicles that you've never seen, like how they've transitioned. Maybe you want to come up with your own design. So you can create a brand new vehicle too. It doesn't have to be in the movies. So if you have any questions, you think maybe your idea is too big or maybe a little bit too complicated for this, go ahead and send me a message and I will respond and let you know for sure. But really just try to surprise us. You know, try to come up with something that everyone says, I need that vehicle, why haven't they made that yet, or why haven't they made one recently? So let's say you want to pick the Outrider, Dash Rendar's Outrider. Last time they made that was in the 90s. It's a really cool vehicle. Maybe they could upgrade it. You don't have to go into a lot of detail. This week's going to be simple. Next week will be more complicated. So looking forward to your guys' responses. I'm sorry this video went so long, and but I really appreciated everything this week. And next week we will be doing the final challenge. The week after that will be contest. And the drawing, when I'm doing the drawing, subscribers and people who are non-members. I didn't mention that last week because I don't really have the prize yet, but when I figure out what the prize is, I'll tell you next week, and then all you guys have to do is post a comment and I'll put your name in a hat, pull your name out, and you get to win a prize too. So non-members also get to apply. Alright guys, thank you very much, and may the Force be with you.